Wisconsin College GameDay, presented by Coors Light across the Good Comer Brands family of stations. We've got it live in ESPN Milwaukee, ESPN Madison, and the Beaver Dam. We're live from the Rock Sports Bar in Sun Prairie. 844-770-3776 is your way into the show. I'm Alex Gravatt alongside Brad Nortman and Adam Mertz, and we are presented by Coors Light. When you need a refreshment on game day, choose the beer that's as cold as the Rockies, cold filtered, cold packaged, and cold lagered for peak refreshment when the mountains are blue. You know what to do, and that's crush a Coors Light 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Now, it's Nebraska week, the battle for the Freedom Trophy, and a weirdly measuring stick game. Mertz, in our pregame texts, you were talking about it, that these two are very similar programs in terms of where they're at. Don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. And Brad, you can layer onto this because we've been talking a lot about this, about where these programs are at second year under high-profile coaches, and these rebuilds have not gone as expected. Nebraska probably feels a little bit better about where they're at because of the QB that they have with Dylan Raiola, the 5-star that they flipped from Georgia.
I hate hearing that.
Yeah, well, I know. But, talk about a difference, a disparity in quarterback rooms. But, Nebraska finds a way to lose, and Wisconsin has not figured out how to win. Mm-hmm. And that's where I think that these two, immovable forces, someone's going to have to stumble into a victory today.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Mertz. Just weirdly mirroring one another. That's Wisconsin and Nebraska. Second-year head coaches. A lot of the glory years feels like it's in the past. A couple weekends ago, I'm friends with a Nebraska fan who I saw in Jacksonville. A lot of the same sentiments that I had. It just felt like, when's it going to turn around? When's the identity going to kick into gear? When is Rule for them going to finally tip the scales and be more than just a middling Big Ten team? That's all the things that Badger fans have been saying. Not only that for this year, but you've got an offense for both Nebraska and Wisconsin that are struggling right now. I mean, we think about Braden Locke, 9 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, kind of struggling his way through the season. Dylan Raiola started hot. He's got 11 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Yeah. They both rank in the 90s nationally when it comes to most offensive stats. Defenses are the strengths of both teams, but even the defenses are kind of like in the 30s and 40s. So it's a game where it looks a lot like one another. There's no big talent gap, right? We can look at some games the Badgers have played in, and a lot of complaints of fans has been, well, look, the cupboard's bare, and there's not the guys that historically have been on this Wisconsin team. I look at Wisconsin and Nebraska, and even looking ahead to Wisconsin, Minnesota, this middle pack of the Big Ten, there's no talent gap. There's really not. So this game will be determined by preparation, motivation, execution, right? I mean, there's no excuse why Wisconsin can't win today, can't win next week. And you said it, Alex G., measuring stick game. You want to be atop the heap of the middle of the Big Ten. Important 2 weeks for Wisconsin to prove who they are in the midst of, a lot of drama the last couple of weeks. And finally, both programs basically fire their offensive coordinators.
Yeah.
Strange rhythms going on that are in lockstep, both in Nebraska and Wisconsin.
Dana Holgorsen, we know that he's calling plays in Nebraska. I guess we're still waiting for that mystery to unravel. Thanks, Luke Fickell, for your gamesmanship on Monday. That was a goofball press conference. That
was so bizarre.
He was scared. He couldn't believe that people were going to keep asking him about the fact that he fired an offensive coordinator, which is arguably the biggest thing that you can do as a head coach. And so let's talk about that a little bit, right? We don't know who's going to be calling the plays. There have been some whispers that it's going to be tight ends coach, whose name escapes me at the moment. But that, he wants to do it by community. He mentioned that he had play calling experience for his high school boys.
Grade school.
Yes, grade school. 6th and 7th graders.
Sweep, run the sweep.
Right.
There's a little bit of this where, I'm worried that he doesn't have this all put together quite the same way that you'd hope he would. But then you turn around and you see there's a 4-star quarterback in Florida who just lost his opportunity to start at Florida State, and he's got the little Wisconsin towel in his pants running onto the field for his playoffs or whatever's going on right now. I'm kind of up in the air about how I feel about Luke Fickell. Where's the Fickell barometer for you two?
Yeah, Coach Fickell has been just class and consistent in saying the right things this entire point. until Monday night, until that press conference on Monday when he was grilled a little bit by the media, and you could see that he broke a little bit. He cracked, and frustration boiled over. And I can understand why. None of this offensively has gone as anyone expected, right? You have to put it on him for saying this is the offense we're going to commit to, which is such a 180-degree spin from who Wisconsin was. It was too much too soon. If Wisconsin can ever run an offense like that is yet to be seen, and certainly can't do it in 2024. So I just saw a head coach whose emotion, whose pent-up stress and frustration finally boiled over. And to be quite honest, I wish he would have handled it differently. I wish he would have handled it in saying, not deflecting the question, but I like to see the emotion. I like to see the frustration because there's been so many low moments in the Luke Fickell era.
Yep.
And I've just gotten a blasé Luke Fickell, right? A politician Luke Fickell. I love to see some emotion. I love to see some anger and aggression at the podium. I just wish the words were different, right? Where it's like, we're going to get it right. And whoever is calling the plays, it's on them to get it right. I love the emotion. I don't like the execution. That's my take with it. So going forward, he has a lot to prove these next couple weeks. Winnable games. And so it's a matter of coaching, execution, and determination. And, they're going to be another top 20 recruiting class. They flipped a D lineman from Michigan.
Yes. Which, hold on. As you remember, post-Iowa game, there was someone who was just grilling me in the comments saying there's no way that Wisconsin's recruiting the same players as Michigan. Right there, we got a 4-star from Michigan, a defensive lineman, 6'6", just a big man. He's going to come here and play perhaps outside linebacker, which is exciting.
Oof, nasty.
How weird has this week been that we've fired an offensive coordinator, which shows surefire signs of dysfunction.
Yeah.
A quarterback entered the transfer portal or announced that he wanted to. Is that correct?
Yeah, Cole LaCrue.
Right.
Oh, okay.
And then
okay.
Brad gives
Okay. Who? Oh, okay.
Yeah, Brad gives the someone cares.
shoulder shrug reaction that I had when he came and when he left.
Yes.
And then Carter Smith, the 15th ranked quarterback in the nation, is wearing Wisconsin towel to play football. And Jalen Williams is coming to Wisconsin. What happened? This week has been crazy.
And I'll wrap up my commentary and toss it over to you, Mertz. This embodies this Fickell era. So much hope and so little on-field execution. The hope remains. The recruiting class, you still got Matauer in the wings. You've got some youth that you're excited about because of these recruiting classes and because who you're currently recruiting. You're going to be another top 20 recruiting class. You're getting this quarterback, seemingly Carter Smith from Florida. So there's hope. But you just don't see the fruit of it on the field. We're still waiting on that, Mertzy.
As I said, hope is not a strategy.
Yes,
right?
it's not.
But it's wild. It's wild. And one of the comments that stood out to me this week, and I think that we've all been there, and we're seeing elements of play, and you saw it on the field last week. I mean, I know a lot of people are really disappointed with that outcome. I was in that game in the stadium, taking in that game. It was an electric atmosphere, and those guys played their tails off, especially on defense, but even on offense. I mean, things weren't working. They weren't executing. I point to one position for that, probably primarily more than any other. But in terms of a team being prepared, in terms of a team being dialed in and ready for that opportunity, it was really impressive. And so the comment, just to step back to where I was coming from this week, was Riley Nowakowski, who's a guy who's a holdover from the Paul Chryst era. He's got no allegiance to Luke Fickell. He doesn't owe him anything in terms of what his comments are to dance around things. His time at the program is kind of getting you on the back side of it, so he has nothing to lose. He's like, I feel like we're 90% there in terms of what's going on, and we just got to, break through on top of this. The fact that there's that level of belief inside the locker room is the most encouraging thing to me, because we can all have our opinions sitting out here, and what are we watching and what's not working. Time after time, with the exception of that Iowa game this year, the teams come out ready to play, and they've played hard, and there's been talent gap that's been obvious in some of these games. But last week, the pieces start coming together. Do they go out and lay an egg today, or do they carry over some of this frustration and kind of pent-up energy they've had of not being able to break through and show themselves as a team that can separate themselves as the last two games? I lean toward the latter, but I could see another game where they're kind of ghost walking around out there too.
Yeah, Iowa was the nastiest moment of the season because you look at Oregon, you look at Penn State, there were moments that you could take that game against teams that are significantly better, college football playoff bound. So you have to give the team credit for that, particularly the defense. I think last year you looked at the defense, I'll just say it, they looked soft. They looked and played soft. Everything was just sort of passive. This year, particularly the second half of the season outside of Iowa, which is so frustrating to say because Iowa is a game that you always try to bring your A game to. But outside that, I mean, what they did against Oregon, gang tackling, flying around, putting their head into guys, I mean, it was a level of grit and a level of toughness on defense that I haven't seen glimpses of since the Jimmy Leonard defenses. They weren't quite Jimmy Leonard defenses, but those looked like guys that were motivated. And we talk about identity. Dog is right. I'm starting to see a little bit of identity start to proliferate on the defense. Offense, we're a long way away. But defense, I'm starting to see it a little bit.
We are a long way away on offense. This is ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay. We're getting ready for the Wisconsin-Nebraska game. I'm Alex Gravatt alongside Brad Nortman, Adam Mertz. We're live at the Rock Sports Bar in Sun Prairie. This place has TVs everywhere. They've got, 10 pool tables?
Yeah.
I mean, come out here and enjoy the game. We're watching. I saw Indiana just dropped the ball on a punt against
hate to see
Ohio
that.
State.
Hate to see it.
Not for our guy. 844-770-3776 is your way into the show. One of the things that I'm struggling with here is I don't know if I'm okay using Nebraska as the end-all, be-all measuring stick, though it makes sense for a lot of reasons, and we're going to put that up on the poll on Twitter. Are you okay using Nebraska as the measuring stick for this Wisconsin Badgers offense and team in general? Jones Dairy Farm prides themselves on making the best tasting, high-quality breakfast sausages you can buy. They only use all-natural ingredients right here in Fort Atkinson. To learn more about Jones Dairy Farm's promise, visit jonesdairyfarm.com. Jones Dairy Farm, the official breakfast sausage of ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay and of all of my mornings. I have them for breakfast sandwiches like every day. They're awesome. Coming up next, we're going to talk a little bit more about what do we have and specifically the difference in this quarterback room. Brad, I know that you mentioned these two teams are very similar. It's going to come down to who's more prepared. It could come down to who has the better quarterback, but that's next on ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay, brewed by Coors Light.
The countdown to kickoff continues next. You're listening to ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay.
The number 7 just got a whole lot luckier because of Pizza Hut's $7 Deal Lovers menu. Enjoy all your Pizza Hut favorites from pizza, pasta, boneless wings, melts, cheese sticks, desserts, and so much more. All for $7 each when you buy 2 or more. With this lucky deal, you don't have to choose between great taste and great value. You can have both at Pizza Hut. Order on the app or online at pizzahut.com today. Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Hi, it's Eric from Canopy Wealth Management. Our years of experience have prepared us to guide you through your life transitions. Our local professional team brings over 90 years of collective experience in the wealth management industry for the benefit of our clients. Canopy Wealth Management. Care, competence, clarity. It's not just a tagline, it's a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started on your financial future today. That's canopy-wealth.com.
My overall experience with Gruber Law Offices has been phenomenal.
The treatment was excellent.
They will be supportive of you. They will listen to you.
It was a great experience knowing that I had people to help me.
I know I could count on them to do what I needed to get done.
Experience with Gruber was great.
They gave me my life back.
It was amazing.
He gets results.
We know how to win. If you've been injured, call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Gruber Law Offices had my best interests at heart.
Monday nights this football season, huddle up for the Great Dane Huddle, driven by Janesville Kia.
We have Nebraska and Minnesota for a bowl game to finish out the season.
These are big games.
These are huge games.
These are big games.
And so you let your OC coach, you make a decision, that's fine, but you better stand behind that decision, go forward, and rally the troops.
The Great Dane Huddle, driven by Janesville Kia. Mondays at 6 on 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
I was rolling my rig on a Crescent City run with my hands on the wheel looking into the sun. With a flash, I became temporarily blind by a plate glass truck I was tailing behind. Next thing I know, I'm in the side of a ditch with a bent rear wheel and a broken off hitch. But I was hauling again in just a short while, 'cause Truck Star Collision is on my speed dial. Do you operate a fleet, whether it's heavy-duty 18-wheelers or medium-duty delivery vans? And does vehicle downtime make you cringe? Time is money, and a fleet vehicle on the sideline hurts because you need your fleet to be up and running 100% of the time. If one of your heavy or medium-duty fleet vehicles is out of commission, Truckstar Collision Center in Deerfield will get it back on the road quickly. Since Truckstar is a full-service facility, the complete repair is done in-house, saving you time and money. And remember, they're able to repair both heavy and medium-duty vehicles. Truckstar Collision Center, minutes off I-94 in Deerfield. Call 888-400-1002 or log on to truckstarcollision.com.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that American Family Insurance agents can help build a customized renter's policy so you can protect stuff like this, or this, or even this. Well, case in point. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Saving lives, one mammogram at a time. That's what we do at Stoughton Health. All women 40 and older should schedule their annual mammogram. Stoughton Health uses 3D technology for better, earlier breast cancer detection. All mammogram appointments from October through November will receive a coupon for a discounted manicure at participating local salons. Stoughton Health accepts over 160 insurances, including Dean Health Plan and Quartz. Appointments are just 2 to 3 weeks out. Call 608-873-2299. Stoughton Health, creating excellence together.
Wisconsin Badgers legend Barry Alvarez joins ESPN Madison.
It's not one win get you over the hump. It's consistency.
Don't miss Barry Alvarez on the Great Dane Huddle every week on 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
I might drink a little, I might smoke a lot, counting down the good times, staring down the clock, throw some hallelujahs to the big man in the sky, show up Sunday morning.
Got some big news as the Wisconsin injury report has come out. Canopy Wealth Management carries a long-standing tradition of working in the best interest of their clients every single day. The team at Canopy emphasizes building local relationships and believes that values matter and strengthen their community. At Canopy, care, competence, and clarity isn't just a tagline, it's a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started today. I'm Alex Gravatt alongside Brad Nortman and Adam Mertz. This is ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay, brewed by Coors Light. And Hunter Wohler, Will Pauling, both out. Initial reaction to that, Brad Nortman?
Oh, Hunter Wohler is a painful one.
Yeah.
I mean, he has been the heartbeat, the leader, the enforcer, and the tone setter for this defense his entire career. I mean, whether it be Paul Christ or now with Luke Fickell and this Mike Tressel-led defense, he is the dude. He shows up all over the field, and there's not many guys that I can truly rely on that defense. Anyway, any level, offense or line, linebackers or secondary, and he is that guy. He's going to play on Sundays next year. So to lose him is a critical loss. Someone's going to have to step up. It's going to have to be more on the D-line, I think, to get pressure, which hasn't been consistent for the Wisconsin Badgers. Because I think when you pressure Raiola, you frustrate him, and you get him frazzled, and that's when he's throwing interceptions. And then with this Nebraska team, basically, whenever Raiola's had more interceptions than touchdowns, they lose. If he has more touchdowns than interceptions, they win. Simple as that. So that is a huge loss. Will Pauling he's obviously a good receiver. He hasn't done a lot lately, mostly because of these injury concerns. And there's other guys that can fill in from the wide receiver position. So that one, slightly painful. But, I mean, basically Vinny Anthony and Trench Kekahuna, those guys are carbon copies of one another. But, man, Hunter Wohler, if there's one guy that I would say, who's the one guy the Badgers can't afford to lose, offense, defense, or special teams, it's Hunter Wohler. And that's the guy who they are exactly losing. So that's painful. I hope he's okay to come back for next week because there's part of me that wouldn't blame him if he just said, I did everything I could do, and I'm going to look forward to the NFL. So that's a next week issue. But, man, Hunter Wohler being out, things just got a little bit harder for the Wisconsin Badgers, a lot of bit harder.
Yeah, heart of the team. You think about he was the guy last year that sort of rallied them when they were 5-5 and got them back on track to win these last two games against Nebraska and Minnesota. I was a little bit worried about this, watching him go off the field, watching Pauling go off the field last week. The Hunter Wohler thing stings for me. I'm in the same position with you on Will Pauling, and I really like Will Pauling a lot. One thing that I will say is I feel like when he's not been in the game, Braden Locke is a better quarterback in some ways. He goes to Pauling way too often, and his ability to he's looked. He has run the offense better, I feel like, when Pauling's not been in the game because he's not his safety valve. So I'm trying to spin this thing a little bit. I won't lie.
All right, hold on. If we're looking for a spin, I've got one for you.
Yeah.
I just watched the bartender here at the Rock Sports Bar slap down bar die, right? So someone's getting something, a surprise beverage. And now we have to look at this as Will Pauling is out. He's been the guy. He's been the PPR monster. He's been the guy who gets the ball and just kind of keeps the ball rolling. Now, we don't have the same offensive coordinator. We don't have our wide receiver one, arguably. What are we going to get? We don't know. What die are going to land face up? What's going to happen for this Badgers team, and who do we expect to have the game for the Badgers in this new-look offense without Will Pauling?
Well, who's ever calling the plays, I expect running the ball early and often.
All right.
I think that is the thing that you can rely on. No matter if it's shotgun or under center, which I don't think we're going to see much under center, whether it be complicated route schemes or very simple, you just can't really rely on the arm of Braden Locke right now. Even the easy passes on Saturday night he was missing. And that just goes to show he's just a little bit out of whack. When he's in sync, he's always been a feast or famine quarterback, right? We felt like that throughout the early part of the season, and then when he was hot, boy, was he hot. Against teams that are not that great, but he was hot. I mean, he was hitting all the passes. And recently he's been cold. When he's cold, he's ice cold. When he's hot, he's scalding hot. And he's just been cold, so you can't really rely on him to be that guy. Put him in really easy passes, easy reads, and then look for the check down guy. But one way you can do it, and I feel like the Badgers have continued to have success, is running the football. So Tyree Walker, Dupree, I think that's the way that you have success. And I just wonder, it's so... Whenever there's a change in offensive coordinator, right? Because like the Packers just experienced this with the Bears 2 weeks ago. They came out with a scheme that they were not prepared for, right? Caleb Williams running the ball with his legs. They were completely unprepared for that scheme. The Badgers have the opportunity to do that this week. I always think it's an advantage for a team, just for 1 week, that if you fire a coordinator, you can come out and surprise in ways that film can't show. So given that, I ask you guys, everything considered, do you expect a better or worse offense this week
than last week?
That's
a hard bar, right?
Than
what we've seen.
The problem
to
is
date.
The Badgers have scored 50-some points, and they scored 7. So in recent memory, how about let's just take the last month. Do you expect this offense to be better than they have been recently, today?
I think they're going to sputter. I think they're going to have a difficult time, that Nebraska front is not going to be very easy to run against.
Yeah, they're pretty good front seven.
And that they're going to have to figure out a way to get the passing game going to win this game. And that scares me to say that because I'm with you. I think that the running game has been what's sort of buoyed them and what they've been able to lean on and open up the passing game. I think Tyree Walker is a really hard runner. I think that there's been more action on the offensive line this year than I've seen in the past. Having to rely on a guy who you don't know if he's going to throw for 95 or 359 is a scary proposition to me.
That is such a wild spread.
Okay. And you had. I just got to get this off my chest, man. When you said missing open throws, I flashed right back to that beautifully designed play where Tyree slipped out of the backfield last week.
That's what I had in my head.
There's no one within 15 yards of him, and Luck throws it to the band.
Yeah.
And I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah.
These are throws you got to hit.
Yeah.
Even if you're just doing the loft.
I know.
It was painful.
Yeah. There are some throws just as a starting college quarterback you got to make. I don't expect him to throw anybody open. No. I don't expect him to throw back shoulder passes, throw the ball 50 yards down a streaking Vinny Anthony. But intermediate to short throws, you got to hit. And he wasn't even in the intermediate and short throws.
No.
So you're exactly right, Mertz. If that's still the case, and you don't have a quarterback that you can rely on for accurate short and intermediate passes, it's going to limit what you can do. It really is. And so if Nebraska sells out on stopping the run, you're sort of stuck again.
844-770-3776. Call and text into ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay presented by Coors Light. We're asking ourselves, is this offense going to be more or less efficient? I guess is that better or worse?
Yeah.
Than it has been over the last month. I think It's got to be better. There's no way it's not going to be, because you galvanize the troops when you bring out a new offensive coordinator. When you say, listen, this was dysfunctional, and you admit it, and you just have to move on. You have to take the next step. It's like anything. If you recognize that there's a problem and you find a solution, something's going to happen. Now, is this the right solution long term? I don't know. I can't tell you. But there's going to be, like you mentioned, a new scheme. It's going to look a little bit different. And the thing that I don't know if we're talking about for the immediate future, playing against Nebraska, this is the worst defense we've played in a month.
Yeah.
That's true.
Nebraska's
Yeah,
a fine defense, don't get me wrong, but they just bled 27 to UCLA, who I couldn't name a single player on that team. So give me Wisconsin looking better offensively.
Yeah, so reference. So when I asked like the last month, I'm saying Northwestern, Penn State, Iowa, Oregon. So Wisconsin has averaged about 15 points a game amongst those four.
And most of those coming in one game against Northwestern.
Yeah, 23. Because before that, I mean, that's when they really uncorked it against Rutgers and Purdue. But even before that, the offense sputtered. So I just think, can they score 15? I think if you score in the low 20s, I think you can win this game. And that's where you're talking about. And weekly, Nebraska has been allowing teams to score in the 20s, right? Yep. They are not. They're a good defense. They're not great, and they're playing okay offenses, not great. So it's there for the Badgers to score in the 20s. That would say it's a better offense, but do we really have proof that that's ever going to happen?
What do you think changes personnel-wise in terms of overall usage and individual usage? Are we going to see a Cade Yakimelli sighting today? Is that someone who comes out of the woodwork and maybe was buried in Longo's doghouse for some reason? You got it. I'm trying to think what actually changes out there today, and that's the only name that came to mind for me in terms of giving that guy more of a role.
He's still the Badgers' number 2 rusher on the year in terms of total yardage.
Is he really?
7.8 yards a crack. The dude has been on fire, and he's a receiving threat. In a Phil Longo-style offense, I just don't get how he wasn't getting more touches. But I don't think that we're going to see a lot more, Cade, because the number one proponent of going to a running back one and then maybe getting someone else involved has been Luke Fickell. And so if this is Fickell's offense, I don't know if we're getting more Cade.
Yeah, and I like Cade. I really do. He runs the ball hard and he's punishing. The one thing I don't like, though, is I don't like sacrificing Tyree Walker touches, because I do think he's your best weapon, and you get him going. So is there a creative way that you can get them both on the field together, maybe get Cade in more of a fullback, tight end, H-back kind of position? Maybe that's the creativity. I think for me it's going to be – I don't know what the relationship was like between Longo and Locke, right? It seems like Longo is just like, this is what we're going to do. Go do it. I just wonder if whoever is calling the plays now is just going to go to Braden Locke and be like, dude, what do you feel comfortable doing?
Yeah.
If we can just make this elementary, what are 3 things that you can – and it might be, let's do more RPO, because I want to get confidence getting a couple first downs with my feet. I love the intermediate, whatever, post corner, whatever it is. I just think that maybe that's the change, because there's no quarterback change, there's no running back change, there's no line change. I don't think there's a change at wide receiver. I don't see a big personnel shift. Maybe formations and whatnot, but I think to me the big thing is, how can you make Braden Locke comfortable and efficient? And that's coming to him and saying, what do you feel comfortable doing? What can you do in your sleep? If this was your last college football game, what is it that you feel like you can do day in and day out? And going from there, because there is something he is good at. We've seen flashes of it. And when his confidence gets rolling, can be a good quarterback. But it just seems like he hasn't been able to get in that rhythm. And I don't know if that's a disconnect between him and Longo. That could be a big change.
My biggest complaint about Longo in these last 2 years is I never understood what he was trying to accomplish. Very, very rarely did I feel like there was a flow to his play calling, to their pace. And it just seemed like all over the place all the time. And I'm not someone who is an X's and O's guy. I hit a certain peak. This is like, I hit calculus, and that was a little difficult after that point. But when you can just see, and you've seen enough football to understand, I don't know where he's going with this. He's not setting up things for later in the game. He's trying out stuff that doesn't make any sense. Like Braylon Allen on the perimeter last year.
Yeah.
Just like these things where you're looking at it and like, I don't understand what he's trying to accomplish. So if anything, that's what I'd love to see is someone like, to your point, let's do what we do well. Let's play with a little bit of pace and energy and try to get Braden Locke into a little bit of a rhythm that he hasn't had for a month now. So it's that kind of stuff as much as scheme, as much as individual personnel that I'm looking at.
Well, and what's weird is, remember when we started the season, we looked at Western Michigan, South Dakota, and the first drive of Alabama.
Yeah.
And you're like, everything's an 8-yard like button hook, right? Everything's an 8-yard stop route. And we're like, when is the big plays going to happen? It seems like with Locke, all they try to do is big plays.
Yeah.
So I don't understand how can there be such a disconnect and change in the offense.
Yeah.
To me, it seems like with Locke, you should just get him those little intermediate to short passes. If you do that, you can get that all day, and you can sustain long drives. That you add with a running game, you can beat a team like Nebraska.
Big plays are fun. Big wins are fun, too. Winners go to Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison, the casino with the highest payout percentage in the area. They're open right now, and they'll stay open until 2 a.m. on Monday. That's so far away. Go be a winner and go to Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison. More spins, more wins, and certainly more fun. We're about to have a ton of fun ourselves as we are led by Hunter Vaughn in a game of two truths and a lie. Coming up next, this is ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay, brewed by Coors Light.
The countdown to kickoff continues next. You're listening to ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay.
Madison's financial challenges need a Dane County-based bank. Starion Bank is a full-service community bank that delivers quality big bank services with a local approach. We are proud to be there for any budding entrepreneur or small businesses, helping them exceed their financial goals from banking to lending to cash management. Visit a banker at one of our convenient branches in Middleton, Monona, or Sun Prairie. Starion Bank, taking you farther.
Hey, it's Alex Stroke. Did you miss any of ESPN Wisconsin's Coaches Week? Find my one-on-one conversation with Wisconsin head coach Greg Garr, Marquette head coach Shaka Smart, Green Bay head coach Doug Gottlieb, and Milwaukee head coach Bart Lundy on the Mr. Irrelevant podcast feed, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Wisconsin On Demand, or wherever you get your podcasts. Mr. Irrelevant is presented by Door County Distillery, locally produced, handcrafted, award-winning spirits, and in part by Underdog and UnderdogFantasy.com. That's the Mr. Irrelevant podcast, available wherever you get your podcasts.
To those who've ever dreamt of their perfect event, those dreams are worthy and they are possible. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With hard work, passion, and great music, we will make your event dreams a reality. Every event is a labor of love, with one-on-one planning, customization, and flawless execution. Bringing your event to life is what we do. For a fun, memorable event, visit celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
The GRB Rays have established themselves as one of the top baseball programs in the Midwest and the country. GRB Academy offers training programs for players of all ages and skill levels. Learn from some of the best baseball coaches in the area and find the program that fits your training goals and your schedule. Spots are filling up fast, so visit grbacademy.com to sign up now. That's grbacademy.com. GRB Academy, baseball for the serious player.
Get ready for a festive season at the Bruce Company in Middleton. Jim Rutledge here, the Bruce Company Garden Center, has packed their calendar with fun events for your whole family. Kickstart your holiday season with exciting events like a visit with Icelandic horses and snowy owls, and of course, their reindeer fly-in and holiday open house. Mr. and Mrs. Claus will even be landing for a visit at the Bruce Company. So join in the fun this holiday season. Learn more about their upcoming events at brucecompany.com.
Looking to kickstart a healthier lifestyle? Prairie Athletic Club has everything you need, and now's the perfect time to join the pack. Sarah Tauscher here, and for a limited time, you can save $30 per month for your first 6 months and enjoy 3 months of hot yoga for free. Don't wait. Your healthiest lifestyle starts now. Join today and discover why the pack is consistently voted the best place to work out. Visit prairieathletic.com today. Prairie Athletic Club, family fun community.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, We can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
Have you been waiting to buy your next home? Stop. Now is the time to get housed. What's up, Madison? It's Stacy from Bruner Realty. Nobody has a crystal ball to know what the future holds. The longer you wait to find your next home, the better the chance you'll be paying more for it than you would be today. Don't miss out on what could be the best opportunity to find your dream home. Contact our team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to help start your search. That's BrunerRealtyInc.com. Let's get housed.
Hi, this is Dave Kane. You're listening to Madison's Home of the Bucks, a good Karma brand radio station, 100.5 ESPN WTLX, Monona, Madison.
From L.A. to Piscataway, this is your college football scoreboard update, driven by Metro Ford of Madison.
What is up, Wisconsin? I'm Hunter Vaughn. Before we get into some scores in the Big Ten, I've got to update you on the game of the week. Of course, it's the game, the 140th meeting between Harvard and Yale. The Yale Bulldogs trying to pull off the upset on the Harvard Crimson. They're up 21-7 in that one. Now on to some actual football. In the Big Ten, we had one game played last night. Michigan State winning at home 24-17 over Purdue. The Purdue Boilermakers are 0-8 in the Big Ten, 1-10 on the season. Woof. Some games going on right now in the Big Ten. Iowa is up on the road at Maryland, 16-6 with 5:57 to go in the third quarter. 25th ranked Illinois is trailing Rutgers in Piscataway, 17-9 with 14:10 remaining in the third. And Curt Cignetti, the head coach of the Indiana Hoosiers, he wins everywhere he goes, except apparently at Columbus. They're down 21-7 at the Buckeyes with 12:08 to go in that one. Games kicking off later. Number 4, Penn State at Minnesota. Northwestern's at Michigan. Wisconsin, of course, at Nebraska. And then USC, UCLA.
Metro Ford of Madison, Madison's trusted Ford dealership. Learn more at metrofordofmadison.com.
ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay rolls on live from the Rock Sports Bar as we are getting ready for Wisconsin at Nebraska. The Badgers underdogs, despite having a, 9 or 10 game win streak against Nebraska?
10 games.
10
2012, boys.
Oh, man.
LG, how old were you in 2012?
2012, I would have been.
That's 12 years ago.
I would have been 15.
Oh, wow.
15.
That's crazy.
I was not a licensed driver at that point. The last time that Nebraska won a bowl game, or not bowl game, so the last time that Nebraska beat a ranked team, I had just started my first year at college. I was in Ball State.
Has it been that long?
It's been that long. But
Yeah.
I say that, and I want to be like, oh, haha, look at them. Last time the Badgers won a game against a ranked opponent, I was in college.
Yeah, it's been
Yikes.
Been 3 years.
It's just brutal. It's not a great feeling, but what is a great feeling is Pizza Hut. Introducing Pizza Hut's new tavern-style pizza, an upgrade on their original classic crispy thin crust, cut into 16 snackable squares and loaded to the edge. It's perfect for sharing during any big game, including this one. Find the nearest Pizza Hut location and order now online at pizzahut.com. Pizza Hut, no one out-pizzas the Hut, and I hope no one outguesses me because we're going to play Two Truths and a Lie with Hunter Vaughn right now.
Who's telling the truth?
You can't handle the truth.
And who is a dirty, rotten, no-good liar?
You calling me a liar? I ain't calling you a truther.
Two Truths and a Lie on ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay is brought to you by Celebrations Entertainment, the premier entertainment and event services company in southern Wisconsin.
All right, gentlemen, I have 3 statements about the Nebraska Cornhuskers football program. You will have to guess which one of these 3 is a lie. Are we ready to go?
Born ready, Hunter.
Well, we've already talked about him, the quarterback for Nebraska, Dylan Raiola. His father, Dominic Raiola, played on the O-line for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. So he won the Outland Trophy in 2000. Dominic Raiola won the Outland Trophy, which goes to the best interior offensive or defensive lineman in college football in the year 2000.
Okay, this is ridiculous. It could be true. But, like, 2000? And this guy's a starting quarterback in college football? The 2000 wasn't that long ago, was it?
It really wasn't that long ago.
I
That's crazy. I remember his dad playing. I remember specifically Donovan Raiola being a great offensive lineman. So I believe
this could be
offensive
true.
Lineman. It sounds true to me.
I think the lie was, like, I think the only
subtle
part
lie.
of the lie was that, if it is a lie, that he won in 2000.
Or he got second. I mean, there's a lot of nuances that could be.
Hunter doesn't usually do the trick card. Oh, it was 2001. He doesn't play that card. So I'm feeling like it's a yes or no on did he win.
Yes, that's my. I think he played offensive lineman.
He
right?
did. He was a center.
Okay.
And that was the number one thing that surprised me when I heard his kid was the top recruit. I figured he'd be on the line somewhere.
Yeah.
Yet he's quarterbacking.
Nah, he's just mini Pat Mahomes. All right, what's next?
And his brother, his uncle, played at Wisconsin. As a lot of people know.
No kidding.
Yeah.
That's right. He did.
Yep. Another offensive
Statement
lineman.
number 2. Nebraska alums Will Shields and Mick Tingelhoff were both members of the NFL Hall of Fame and inducted in the same year of 2015. Stumbled over my own writing there. Do you want that again? Because I butchered it.
Yeah,
Will
hit it one more
Mick
time.
Tingelhoff.
I love Mick Tingelhoff.
I don't remember Mick Tingelhoff in the 2015 Hall of Fame.
Is this like
Will
a
Shields
veterans
sounds
committee
familiar.
kind of thing?
Were you playing at the Hall of Fame game or something?
No, but when I was playing, I always liked watching the speeches when possible. I don't remember a Mick Tingelhoff.
It's got to be a
speech.
dead guy induction.
Yeah, it could
You know what
be.
I mean? It's got to be like a
Could be.
veterans committee type deal.
Okay.
If it is.
All right. What's the third one? What's the third one?
The final one, Frank Solich was the last Nebraska head coach to win a conference championship.
Ooh.
Do we have a year on that?
Was Frank Solich after Tom Osborne?
Yes, he was the first one after Tom Osborne.
Gotcha.
I feel good about that one because you're thinking about like the.
It's only Bo Pelini that would be able to. And he didn't, right? In the Big 12 even?
No, because Texas got that extra play on the throw out of bounds and wound up winning that game against Nebraska and Sioux.
I feel like that's true.
I like that one.
He said conference championship, so it's not Big Ten, right?
They've never won the Big Ten.
They never won the Big Ten, right. I like that one is true.
Yeah, I think that one's true. I think it's first or second one to me. Mick Tingelhoff.
Yeah, right?
It's got me stumped. Guys. I don't know. I would say that one. I don't remember a Mick Tingelhoff. There's enough truth about the first comment about Donovan Raiola that I feel like it's true. It would be a subtle, nuanced change.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I sit next to Hunter Vaughn every day in the office.
Are you saying he's a trickster?
Yeah, I think he's grinning like an idiot in the ESPN Madison Everlight Solar Studios right now. So I'm gonna go with that. I think that's the lie.
Wait,
I don't know what part of it is.
Let me go back. Let me go back to there's Outland and then there's Remington.
It's hard to win the Outland Trophy.
It is.
That's usually a tackle.
What do you say?
Let's do
you like going with that one?
Right.
I've locked it in.
You've already cast your vote.
You guys can be right without me, but I'm going to be wrong on this. This is the hill I'm dying on.
I'm good to follow our fearless leader.
I'm the same. I don't think that you can pull Mick Tingelhoff out of, the ether.
Yeah.
All right, Hunter.
Which one? So are we going with number 2? You believe is the lie, or
No,
number
number one. Number one.
Number 1 is the lie.
Correct.
That is correct.
Yeah.
So Dominic Raiola was a finalist for the Outland Trophy. He did not win it that year. It was like a stretch of like 5 linemen or something like that Nebraska had as finalists, and like multiple had won it. Mick Tingelhoff, by the way, an actual person, was obviously then a member of the 2015 Hall of Fame class along with Will Shields. He played at Nebraska, was born in Lexington, Nebraska. He played his entire NFL career with the Minnesota Vikings from 1962 to 1978.
Wow,
the dude
what a
was an
career.
absolute stud.
So
Looked up some old footage of him too. Oh, it was awesome.
So he clearly had passed by the time he was inducted, correct?
Let me see here. Looking at his Wikipedia. No, 2021. So he was alive.
And he gave a speech, huh?
Yep.
I feel like I would remember McTinglehoff, but hey.
Yeah.
Wait, so what years was he on the Vikings, you said?
62 to 78.
That's a long time.
That's a long time.
So he was part of that, like, the Purple People Eaters Vikings?
Yeah, at least on the offensive side.
Yeah, well, right. I mean,
Sure.
he wasn't one of the Purple People Eaters, but he was going up against those guys in practice.
Five-time All-Pro.
Wow.
Okay.
Boss.
Great. You know what? I'm a McTinglehoff fan now. I would get.
How could you not be?
Listen. I'm not going to get a
Like
Rodgers
jersey?
jersey when he goes to Minnesota next year,
Yeah.
but I would get a McTinglehoff Vikings jersey. All right. Well, we're celebrating winning 2 Truths and a Lie. You can celebrate with Celebrations Entertainment. Planning an event has never been easier. They have complete event services for weddings, corporate events, nonprofit events, outdoor movie nights, casino nights, and so much more. So much more fun. Visit celebrationsentertainment.com to get started today. Celebrations Entertainment. Fun, memorable events. We're going to wrap up Hour 1 and head on to Hour 2 next. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day presented by Coors Light.
The countdown to kickoff continues next. You're listening to ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day.
Everybody's buzzing about Quick Trip's possibly pilfered potatoes. We have them priced so low, some say they're illegal. Swipe potato fries? Potatoes ill-gotten? Stash browns? Come on, these are not hot potatoes. But it is a quick hot savings. You might say it's a steal. No, don't say that. 99 cents for a 5-pound bag. 5 pounds of potatoes under $1? What a heist. A perfect score for those large meal gatherings. Quick Trip, we got your taters covered.
Hey, it's Alex Stroke. Did you miss any of ESPN Wisconsin's Coaches Week? Find my one-on-one conversation with Wisconsin head coach Greg Gard, Marquette head coach Shaka Smart, Green Bay head coach Doug Gottlieb, and Milwaukee head coach Bart Lundy on the Mr. Relevant podcast feed, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Wisconsin On Demand, or wherever you get your podcasts. Mr. Relevant is presented by Door County Distillery, locally produced, handcrafted, award-winning spirits, and in part by Underdog and UnderdogFantasy.com. That's the Mr. Relevant podcast, available wherever you get your podcasts.
Liberty Station American Tavern and Smokehouse isn't just a barbecue restaurant. Fish fry, walleye, and vegetarian options are available, and they have a menu that's sure to please everyone. Liberty Station smokes their meats daily with a 1,000-gallon custom smoker, giving you the freshest experience possible. Enjoy happy hour with daily discounts on both food and drinks at their large bar with 20 draft taps and multiple TVs to watch the big game. Be sure to check out their sprawling patio with an indoor and outdoor porch area too. Liberty Station off the Beltline on Rimrock Road.
Your warehouse concrete floors see a lot of traffic. Uneven, sinking, or cracked concrete can pose a serious threat to any business operation. From trip hazards to cracked foundations, sinking concrete can keep any business owner up at night. Concrete Lifting Technologies is here to help. Concrete Lifting Technologies can even out that concrete floor to prevent these hazards. They can level your warehouse floor within a few hours and don't even need to shut down your operations. Visit itaintmudjack.com to get a free quote today. That's itaintmudjack.com.
That to-do list you have needs one more thing. Chill. It's an easy thing to do. Just crack open an ice-cold Coors Light and chill. Take the afternoon off and binge watch anything. Go to happy hour and stay for a couple hours. Who's counting anyways? Or hang out with just your dog, because you've had enough human interaction this week. Whatever you do it with a Coors Light. Mountain Cold Refreshment made to chill. 2020 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that a lot of life's firsts are better with help from American Family Insurance. Like your first home expansion or your first big lightning strike. There's a first for everything. Get the right home policy at the right price with the right help from American Family's agents. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Get the beat of the Bucks straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend.
Welcome to the fantastic voyage. Marcus Johnson, the captain of this vessel.
Tap into Your District with Marcus Johnson, a Bucks Plus audio production.
My first mate, Chris Johnson, the only father and son tandem.
Your weekly pulse on the Milwaukee Bucks and conversations with the biggest names in basketball. basketball. This week on the pod, it's Marcus and Chris, joined by NBA champion and former Buck, Mo Williams. Find your district now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcast.
ESPN Madison is your new home for Wisconsin Badgers volleyball.
That's a statement win for Wisconsin.
Every single night, 7,000 plus, and they are in your face.
From early season showdowns to a run for the national title. Catch every match this season on 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
Wisconsin's where it's at.
Let's go see how high we can go.
Wisconsin Badgers volleyball on ESPN Madison is brought to you by Coors Light, Ridgetop Exteriors, Goodman's Jewelers, Carbon World Health, and North and South Seafood and Smokehouse. ESPN Wisconsin has the players, and now we have the coach.
They better get season tickets right now because before long, they probably won't be able to.
The Great Dane Huddle with Barry Alvarez. Mondays on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
All right, we're going to shed some light on a few things happening around the Big Ten, specifically this Ohio State-Indiana game. But if you've got light, save money, save the planet. Ditch the energy bill and make the switch over to Everlight Solar, your local solar energy company based in Madison. Visit everlightsolar.com to learn more and make the switch today. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics, as Ohio State knocks home, what is that, their fourth touchdown of the first half?
Unanswered, yep.
Yeah, unanswered. Indiana had a great start, but special teams been a big problem for them. They have a muffed fumble. Wow, all of that was just tough. Thanks for the pat on the back there, Mertz. I'm Alex Gravatt alongside Adam Mertz. Brad Nortman. They had a bad punt, and then they had a punt return for a touchdown. The Packers also had a block kick to win a game. It's been a big week for special teams for our special teams guy over there.
Put the special teams in the spotlight, baby. Wins and loses games. I will beat that drum for as long as I have breath. So it's interesting to see a lot of fanfare about Indiana. Would they be able to, step up and play who is the king of the Big Ten, I guess, alongside Oregon. And boy, oh boy, I mean, you just get College GameDay in Columbus, Ohio, and Fox noon kickoff. It's just, once Ohio State gets going, they're really good. They haven't really done that all year, but it seems like the last couple of weeks they've really started to find themselves. So Indiana caught them at a bad time, and you're starting to see a little bit who Indiana is. Amazing story, still a really quality team. What's crazy is I think this will kick them out of the Big Ten championship. Yes. It's going to likely be Oregon and Ohio State again. Both of those teams are a virtual lock then to then make it into the college football playoff. Indiana's probably still going to make the college football playoff. So they'll play one ranked team, a good team, very good team in Ohio State. They'll play next week. They'll probably win. They'll be a one-loss team, and they'll probably be somewhere in that 5-12 range. So interesting. It's interesting how not playing in the championship game will benefit many teams.
Oh, wow.
When you think about it. So, because I think about, I'm thinking if there's another team. I don't know the SEC or the Big 12 really good right now, but Big 12, you got Colorado and you've got SMU. The loser of that Big 12 championship game won't make it into the college football playoff. The other one will. So, it's interesting to see what the life and the narratives of the new 12-team college football playoff looks like, right? There are scenarios where you don't want your team to play in the conference championship game. So, and then in the 4-team, that was critical to not let you go there and win. So, interesting to see.
Guys, just to kind of give you some more information where the SEC stands in things, as Brad, you mentioned them. Right now, Texas is number 3.
In the country.
Yep, in the country. And then you have Alabama, Ole Miss, Georgia, and Tennessee, all within that top 12 range. So obviously you're going to get somebody from the SEC in that same spot that Indiana is, where it's going to help them, and they're going to end up getting a home game for that first round then, and it's probably going to be somebody like an SMU, Boise State, that they'd be playing at home to then go on and potentially play the ACC champion or the Big 12 champion in a neutral site. So losing and not going to the conference championship game is definitely going to be helping the Big Ten and the SEC.
I can't wait for for those 5-12 matchups on campus. I cannot wait for those games. On-campus playoff games, that's unbelievable. And Hunter, you were saying it. Right now, look at the SEC, and we're just going to go through this really quick because we'll get back to Big Ten and Wisconsin. But Texas is the top of it. Then you got Texas A&M, Georgia, Tennessee, Alabama, and Ole Miss. All 4-2, or 2 losses in conference, 2 losses overall. Those teams will all likely, I mean, none of them really can, go to the SEC championship game if they win out. Again, if any one of those 4 teams went to the championship game and lost, they're out of the college football playoff. You miss the SEC championship altogether, you're likely in the playoff. Kind of weird when you're in that 8-12 range on what you would like at the end of the year. You almost don't want a chance to go win the conference because a loss sends you out for the bigger picture.
The 12 team is just so incredible. I understand that it raises questions, and just like you're saying, like suddenly if your goal is to win a national championship or be in this college football playoff, you don't want to be in your conference championship because if you lose, which there will be teams where you look at it and you're like, there's no way we're going to win. Like, no, if Wisconsin or if Indiana found a way to like not play Ohio State this year, they were just in the championship against Oregon or Ohio State, and they get the doors blown off them, they're not going to make it into the playoff. But suddenly you have a chance for, I don't know, Ole Miss to make a genuine, true run, an impactful moment. Boise State's currently sitting at the 4 seed. That would be awesome for that program to get to host Ohio State or something. Like, not host, but play Ohio State in the college football playoff. It's something that wouldn't happen, and I think that it opens the door for more Cinderella-esque stories, which we haven't had since Luke Fickell's Bearcats from Cincinnati.
Well, I want to ask you, so do you think the 12-team playoff versus the 4, if Wisconsin were to ever win a national championship, do you think it makes it more likely or less likely?
More. With the Big Ten, you can suddenly you can drop a game and it's not the end of your season, right? The Badgers haven't made the playoff, period. So suddenly, like that, right there, you're not getting in. And if you can get into the dance, anything can happen, I think.
I actually take the opposite stance.
Really?
Yeah, I think that if you get into the playoff and you're not a top 4 team, you got to win 4 straight games against the top of the entire country. I don't think Wisconsin can do that. Or it's harder. It's harder to win. So getting in, yes, I think they'll get in more often than they ever would in the 4-team playoff. But the gauntlet to actually get to and win a national championship becomes significantly harder. I almost think about the year that Michigan State made it into the Final Four. It was one of the early Final Four years of the 4 college football teams. Like, you just need that one season. And I was part of teams that was like that. I think when we played TCU in the Rose Bowl, I believe we had, was it 1 loss? We had 1 loss, and we were 5th in the country, and they were 3rd. So, like, we were knocking on the door of what would have been a 4-team playoff. If you can just find a way to dominate the regular season and probably win the Big Ten and just get into the 4, you're already in the semifinals. And then you might be able to win 2 games as opposed to 4. So it's interesting. You're right, Alex G., to where I think they'll make the college football playoff once every, 4 years maybe. It might be once a decade at most that you make the top 4. But when you make the top 4, it's way easier to win.
Yeah, and if you're going to play the retro game on when the 4 was, because I think that's important. It was before Oregon was in, before Washington, USC, UCLA.
Also true.
You're hiding out in the West, so really you have to just win 1 game to get into the playoff. In that theory, win the Big Ten championship game, which the Badgers almost did in 19 and 17, really. I'm with you. Also, think about it like a TCU that got in, and all they did was beat Michigan, which was a great win against a very good team. But then they got 65-7 by Georgia. So this is a much better resolution for who's the best college football team out there than the 14 playoff was.
I do hear what you're saying, Brad, also, but let's say Ohio State or Oregon, one of them has a bad year, right? They finished 3rd or 4th or whatever in the Big Ten, and the Badgers have a good year. Suddenly you could conceivably end up as the 5 seed, the 6 seed maybe, and then you play what Ohio State currently has slated to get into the Final Four is BYU, who they're gonna win. I mean, that's a winnable game for the Badgers too. If they're playing,
BYU won't be in it.
Well,
That's my take.
Fair.
But whoever they're playing
right,
in that
12 spot will be beatable.
Playing
and
at
then
Camp
the
Randall
4
would be
seed,
nice, too.
Right.
Yeah.
Then the 4 seed is going to be pretty good most of the time, but that's another game that the Badgers are specifically well built to win, or historically have been building to beat that kind of team. And then you're in the Final Four. And then you're going to find yourself into the Final Four easier.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, G. And when you think about a team that's that good, that finishes the season top 10, when you look at Barry's team in the late 90s, early 2000s with Ron Dane, my teams, with Russell Wilson and J.J. Watt and all those running backs, or the 2017, 2019 teams, you had NFL quality guys everywhere, right? Offensive line, skill position, quarterback, everywhere. And that's just what it's going to take. Like, no matter what, if you're going to finish in the top 10 and be in this college football playoff, like, you just have to have dudes across the level, which the Badgers just don't have right now. They just really don't. That's what you hope they're building toward. And if you can get to a brand of football that teams don't like to play, that's almost why, like, that pro-style offense where you could just hammer teams. I literally felt like we could beat anybody those years that I was playing, because you had 5 guys on the offensive line that all played in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
You had a stable of 4 running backs that all played in the NFL.
Horses.
You had horses. You had dudes on defense that could rush the passer. I felt like we could match up with anybody. So I just wonder, like, what, and this thing almost offensively, what's the offensive style that you feel like you can match up with anybody? And maybe it is going closer to what the offense used to look like, but if you're that good, maybe Wisconsin can beat anybody.
That would be a hell of a ride. And if you're looking for a ride to Camp Randall this season, our friends at Liberty Station are running a game day shuttle during home games in Madison this football season. For just $15, get a Coors Light and a round-trip ride to Camp Randall. It all starts at Liberty Station American Tavern and Smokehouse, located off the Beltline and Rimrock Road. Coming up next, we're going to reset. We're going to talk a little bit more about this game. Badgers at Nebraska. Badgers, as of last night, 1-point underdogs. I haven't checked this morning. It could have changed, but I believe it's still 1 point. This is ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay, presented by Coors Light.
The countdown to kickoff continues next. You're listening to ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay.
Saving lives, one mammogram at a time. That's what we do at Stoughton Health. All women 40 and older should schedule their annual mammogram. Stoughton Health uses 3D technology for better, earlier breast cancer detection. All mammogram appointments from October through November will receive a coupon for a discounted manicure at participating local salons. Stoughton Health accepts over 160 insurances, including Dean Health Plan and Quartz. Appointments are just 2 to 3 weeks out. Call 608-873-2299. Stoughton Health, creating excellence together.
Black Friday is Cash Friday at Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. On Friday, November 29th, starting at 5 p.m., 18 winners will each take home a cash prize between $500 and $2,500 in our Cash Friday promotion. And at 8 p.m., one winner will take home the $40,000 grand prize. Plus, November 29th is Ho Chunk Day, and we're celebrating by giving the first 500 guests visiting our Rewards Club booth $25 in rewards play. Cash Friday is a holiday tradition at
Ho Chunk Gaming Madison.
Nothing makes being outdoors better than having the right gear and the right crew. So here's an idea. Let Mountain Dew supply the gear and you bring the friends. Because when you buy specially marked multi-packs of Mountain Dew, you can collect points and earn epic limited edition outdoor gear. We're talking everything from custom Mountain Dew camp chairs and backpack coolers to exclusive Mountain Dew tents, fishing boats, and more. So buy Dew, collect points, get gear, and get outside with Mountain Dew outdoor gear.
Open to legal U.S. residents 18+. Subject to program terms at dewoutdoors.com and 12/31/24. Void or prohibited.
Hey, it's Alex Stroke. Did you miss any of ESPN Wisconsin's Coaches Week? Find my one-on-one conversation with Wisconsin head coach Greg Garr, Marquette head coach Shaka Smart, Green Bay head coach Doug Gottlieb, and Milwaukee head coach Bart Lundy on the Mr. Relevant podcast feed, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Wisconsin On Demand, or wherever you get your podcasts. Mr. Relevant is presented by Door County Distillery, locally produced, handcrafted, award-winning spirits, and in part by Underdog and UnderdogFantasy.com. That's the Mr. Relevant podcast, available wherever you get your podcasts.
In the next 30 seconds, I'm going to tell you how to save money and save the planet. It's simple. Ditch your energy bill and make the switch over to Everlight Solar. While electricity prices keep rising, Everlight Solar will give you the chance to take ownership of your power while also reducing your carbon footprint. As a local company based out of Madison, they'll be there with you every step of the way as you make the switch to solar. To learn more about how you can save money and save the planet, go to everlightsolar.com.
It takes a team to meet just about any goal, and that's as true on the football field as it is in the office. So it's good to know that you have the Gordon Flesh Company on your side. For more than 60 years, GFC has provided cutting-edge office technology for companies of all sizes, and as the nation's largest Canon dealer, GFC delivers the latest office technology, serviced, and is supported by the most experienced professionals in the industry. That's business technology managed. Visit gflesh.com to learn more.
The Jones family has its rules, just like any other family. Only difference is, ours are about making the best tasting, highest quality breakfast sausage you can buy. One of our rules, we only use all natural ingredients. It's a mandate we've followed since the 1840s, and we'll continue to do so for generations to come. Right here in Fort Atkinson. I'm Philip Jones. To learn more about the rules that make sure my family provides your family with the best tasting, highest quality breakfast sausage, visit jonesdairyfarm.com.
Searching for the perfect brunch spot this weekend? Look no further than the Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company. Every Saturday and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., indulge in the Great Dane sweet and savory brunch menu paired with mimosas, Bloody Marys, or one of their signature beers on tap. Enjoy at any of their 4 Madison area pubs, downtown, Hilldale, Fitchburg, or East Madison. Learn more and view the full menu at greatdanepub.com/brunch. Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company, Madison's original brew pub since 1994.
Madison, Wisconsin is as good as it gets.
It's all about the Badgers.
Go Badgers! Go Badgers!
Games like this is what really separates college football from everything else.
Open up the history books. Here comes Rondell.
That was J.J. Watt, and what a story this young man is.
Gordon again. What a performance by Melvin Gordon.
And the pass rush gets home for the Badgers.
Camp Randall lets it roar.
An unrivaled fan base, the best college sports town in the world. This is ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay.
So live it up right here, right now. Till the sun comes up and the lights go out. So live it up right here, right now. Till the sun comes up and the lights go out.
ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay, brewed by Coors Light. I'm Alex Gravatt, alongside Adam Mertz, Brad Nortman. We're getting you ready for Wisconsin at Nebraska. The Badgers on a 10-game win streak. It's been fantastic, but suddenly these two programs, they're pretty similar. They're in a similar situation. New, exciting head coaches, fired offensive coordinators, 5-5 on the cusp of bowl game eligibility in a battle for the Freeland Trophy, or the Freedom Trophy, not the Heartland. My bad. ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay is brewed by Coors Light. When you need a refreshment on game day, choose the beer that's as cold as the Rockies, cold filtered, cold lagered, cold packaged for peak refreshment. When the mountains are blue, you know what to do, and that's crush a Coors Light 2024 Coors Brewing Company. We put it out there in the poll. Is this game against Nebraska a measuring stick game for the Badgers? Yes, 61%. No, 39%. I voted yes, but I'm just not happy about it. Right?
Yeah.
The Nebraska Cornhuskers haven't made a bowl game since, 2016? It's been forever, and I don't want to be compared to a team like that. I want to be in the upper echelon. Through the 2010s, the Badgers had the second most wins in the Big Ten. I don't want to be compared to Nebraska, lowly Nebraska, even if they are, figuring things out. Brad, what do you think?
I voted yes on the poll because as much as I don't like it, it's just the reality. It's the reality of where these teams are at. And, the Wisconsin Badgers aren't the Nebraska teams of, 2018 and 2021. And, they're not that. But you look at these two programs right now, and they are in lockstep together. I mean, in almost incalculable ways, right? I mean, whether it be, second-year head coach. You summed it up well. Second-year head coaches, fired offensive coordinator, 5-5. Statistically, they match up almost identically across the board. So you might not like it. I might not like it. But Nebraska is the team that is your mirror right now in the Big Ten. There's so many teams that are just in the muck in the middle of the Big Ten, and the Wisconsin Badgers are amongst those 6 to 7 teams that are right there. And they're going to face two of them over the next 2 weeks in Nebraska today and Minnesota on Black Friday next week. So you're going to see how you stack up where there's no talent gap. You could even say that there is a talent advantage in some areas for the Wisconsin Badgers, and it's going to come down to determination and grit. And, it's just interesting, right? For this Wisconsin Badger team, things have not gone, I think, how they would have hoped. I would have not expected that they were in the same position as they were last year, which they were. They were 5-5 going into the Nebraska game last year as well. So it's a measuring stick, and I actually feel okay about where I think they're going to measure up against Nebraska. But with that being said, anything can happen this year, and anything has happened this year.
I would think – I totally agree with the product on the field being disappointing as a measuring stick. But when you step back about the program, I don't mind that comparison at all in terms of where Wisconsin's been able to outperform Nebraska on the field. You think about the resources, the tradition, the money that's behind that Nebraska program, and for you to be able to beat them 10 straight is stunning. And so if you want to be measuring stick, like, okay, you're pouring all that into it, you have that much tradition, built-in support, built-in advantages that way, and you're still not beating Wisconsin on the field, like I'd say, okay, bring that measuring stick.
Do the next two games, speaking about measuring sticks, if we're going to measure them against Nebraska and Minnesota, big trophy games, for sure your biggest rival on Friday against Minnesota, does how these games go the next 2 weeks change how you feel about the Fickle regime? Or are you already saying this team is what it is, and I'm already looking at 2025, looking at the young recruits. Does how these games go, starting today, change how you feel about Luke Fickell and the staff?
Today's game? No. I want to see Luke Fickell come out and fire up the guys and go just lay one on Nebraska. Nebraska is, where we are, sure, yes. This season, if you're looking at just this season, there is no team in college football that is more similar. It's kind of spooky. You can lose that game. You fired your offensive coordinator. You need to figure it out. You have to maintain bowl eligibility. I think that's a really important part. But if Luke Fickell and this Wisconsin Badgers team have their back against the wall and they have to go fight and show what they've got in a game to play in a bowl game and to win the Axe, that is going to be important to me. That fires me up. I'm curious what they're going to see. How does he face that level of adversity? Because so far this year, he's outside of Iowa. He's lost the games that he was supposed to lose, and he won the game that was supposed to win. You had one 50-50 game, and you got blown out. You got embarrassed. You can't get embarrassed. That you cannot do.
Right. Yes.
If this is a close loss, I'm willing to accept it, but then you got to show that this is Wisconsin football, and we take pride in what we have against Minnesota.
So, yeah, you weight the Minnesota game with a higher degree.
Oh, my. It's so much.
Yeah.
So
At
much.
home for the Axe. Yeah, I understand that. How about you, Mertzy?
I think that's fair, and I'm just trying to, percolate on your question about does it impact how I think about where Fickell is at and where this program is at. Yes, for a lot of the reasons that you've mentioned in terms of the in-game coaching and the ability to actually close out a game and make adjustments and not have delay of game penalties coming out of timeouts on the most important drive.
Embarrassing.
That kind of stuff,
Inexcusable.
which has been one of my biggest nagging complaints about this program in the last couple of years, about not doing the things that are in your control to set yourself up in position to win a game. So that would bother me. Structurally, though, I don't know. Maybe it's the recruiting flip this week and the quarterback coming in and a lot of that young talent.
Hopefully we land him.
Correct. I don't want to get ahead of
Carter
myself
Smith.
on that one. But it just seems like that's almost inevitable. Like they're building in the right direction that way. So I don't want to get too hung up on it. But, man, a 5-7 record, that doesn't sit well with me. So I don't know which game it is. I honestly don't. I think the Minnesota one emotionally, I'd want to win more. But as long as they win one of these two, I feel the same.
Yeah, for me right now, if they go 1-1, I hope they beat Minnesota.
It's got to be Minnesota. It has to be Minnesota.
You're 6-6. Again, that has to be your low water mark. I don't care if you fired your OC. I don't care about any of that. You can't go 5-7.
Nope.
You can't lose both of these games. That will change significantly how I feel about this. And I know that next year's schedule is harder, but I would still say you got to show me something right now. right now because you're losing games against teams of similar quality.
Yeah.
And I don't care where the program's at. Even if we look at this as somewhere between a rebuild and a trying to ramp up with this young talent, there's just no excuse to lose those games, at least lose 2 of them in a row. If the Badgers can win convincingly or at least just win, and they look good, right? The next 2 weeks, I can look into 2025 with optimism. But if they go 1-1, I'll be like, okay, I still kind of feel the same, very blah. You cannot go 0-2. You can't go 0-2. That would be a huge black eye on this program that you can't reverse, right? That coveted bowl streak will be broken, and you will have hit. I mean, they haven't gone 5-7 since the early 2000s.
Yeah.
And then before that, it was like
2001 and 95.
Yeah, 95.
Those are the 2 that stand out to me.
There's literally 3
non-bowl
years
games
in the last 35 years.
Right.
And the early years of Barry are not comparable.
Yeah.
So 30 years, 3 times, you basically will have done a 5-7 record. That's a huge black eye. I don't care where you're at in the rebuild. You can't do that.
And the developmental opportunities that you lose out of not getting into a bowl game. 3 more weeks of practice with these young guys, and that would be a huge step backwards for the program.
844-770-3776. That's your way into the show. We're all. Well, I guess we haven't really talked about it. I'm cautiously optimistic about today. It sounds like, Brad, you are too, Mertz.
I am.
Yeah. You know, the Hunter Wooler out news is really disrupting that a little bit, but I'm still thinking that after what I saw last week, I can't imagine that these guys are not going to cash in on that momentum that they built out of last week's game.
I think it's going to be ugly, but I think Badgers are going to get the win.
All right, this is ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay. I'm feeling a little bit better about myself just because as I watch Ohio State absolutely pummel Indiana, it is 28-7. And listen, okay, up next we've got good call, bad call, which that'll be important, but I also want to hit on just one moment. You mentioned Barry Alvarez earlier. I host a show on Mondays with the Great Dane Huddle with Barry Alvarez, and he was talking about momentum and what it means to have momentum as a play caller, but I want to talk about momentum on a greater scale. So really, really quick, do you feel like the momentum for this program right now, as we go into this measuring stick game, as Twitter agrees with us, are you feeling like the momentum's going in the right direction, Brad?
Not right now. If the season goes well, if you go 2-0 and you get a top 20 recruiting class, I feel like there's momentum. I feel like there's optimism. But if you go 1-1, if you go 0-2, I don't feel momentum right now. I feel like you have a unique opportunity to create momentum over the next 2 weeks against 2 teams that you just don't like. You just don't like Minnesota. You don't like Nebraska. Nebraska's been the team you've curb stomped all these years, and Minnesota's been your little brother. So, treat them as such and prove that you are not a Wisconsin team that is too far off. You do that, you get a new fresh blood of top talent recruit, top 20. Maybe you hit the transfer portal. You have a critical hire in the offensive coordinator.
Yes.
I feel like you got some momentum, but you can lose momentum very quickly. And losing one of these 2 games will slow down any momentum you think you got going.
Yeah, so I'm with you on that. What I feel good about is the way that team attacked and approached last week's game.
Yeah,
if they can replicate that,
if they can
play, I should spell that out too. On the defensive side of the ball, if they can play anywhere near that level today, I feel like you're in good shape. Mm-hmm. If they can maintain that kind of focus that they had and intensity, but this could go either direction, and it's time for them to seize this thing.
Yeah,
they have not taken that mantle. They couldn't beat up on the non-conference opponents this year. Those both should have been runaway victories. They couldn't hang with the big boys. They made mistakes when it mattered. They couldn't take care of Iowa. Couldn't even give Iowa a game. Do they have it in them to actually win? That's the big question mark that I have about this program right now. I'm tired of horseshoes and hand grenades. Tired of being close.
Tired of horseshoes and hand grenades. All right, more on that. Good call, bad call coming up next. Don't let your sidewalks or driveways get flagged for unnecessary roughness. Let concrete lifting technologies level your uneven or cracked pavement and save the work of replacing it. Raise your game and raise your concrete. Visit itaintmudjack.com to get a free quote today. That's itaintmudjack.com. This is ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay, brewed by Coors Light.
The countdown to kickoff continues next. You're listening to ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
Pizza Hut's wings are the best thing to happen to pizza night since, well, pizza. Introducing Pizza Hut's new Big Boneless Wing Bundle. For only $15.99, enjoy 16 crispy boneless wings in 2 different flavors, 2 dipping sauces, and a double order of fries. The wings are sauced and tossed to perfection and available in 9 flavors like honey barbecue, garlic parmesan, and sweet chili. It's the perfect bundle for game days, girls' nights, family night, or any tailgate party. Order now on the Pizza Hut app or at pizzahut.com.
James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner for over 40 years. And RE/MAX Preferred has been a client for nearly half of those years. CEO Daniel Bertelsen.
I think over all the years, they've always remained competitive with their pricing, with their service calls, with everything that we pay.
James Imaging Systems, better document imaging technology and better customer care.
Reliability and consistency are the key to any successful business, and for our networking and digital solutions, they've been that right along with us for all these years.
Daniel, James Imaging Systems, a business technology partner and a business partner.
Yes, sir. I think James Imaging has been both for us over the years, and having that in-between person that we trust is really important to us.
Lacking trust with your current business technology vendor? Then switch to James Imaging Systems. Call 608-221-3457. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
November savings are happening right now at Metro Ford of Madison. With 223 new vehicles available for purchase, qualified buyers can get 90 days deferred payments. The 2024 Ford Explorer is available with 1.9% APR financing for 66 months, $15.54 per thousand borrow. The 2024 Ford Mach-E is available with 0% APR financing for 72 months. Make sure you hurry in to Metro Ford of Madison today.
Every event tells a story, from the first impression to the final moments. Have someone guide your guests through every chapter the way you want the story told. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With a strong presence, great voices, and an award-winning team, trust us to guide, direct, and inform your guests through all the different chapters of the day. For fun, memorable entertainment for any event, please visit us at celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Madison's financial challenges need a Dane County-based bank. Starion Bank is a full-service community bank that delivers quality big bank services with a local approach. We are proud to be there for any budding entrepreneur or small businesses, helping them exceed their financial goals from banking to lending to cash management. Visit a banker at one of our convenient branches in Middleton, Monona, or Sun Prairie. Starion Bank, taking you farther.
Mark your calendars. Professional volleyball is coming to Madison with First Serve on January 17th. Led by Madison's newest pro team, Love Madison Volleyball. Get ready for nonstop action as some of the world's best players take the court. Featuring Olympic medalists Lauren Carlini and Annie Drew Schumacher, Love Madison is ready to compete for the season's first championship title. Get your tickets now for this historic first season. Visit lovb.com today. Volleyball is the next major league.
On the air, on demand, on social, on Wisconsin Sports. Serving Wisconsin sports fans. This is 100.5 ESPN.
I might drink a little, I might smoke a lot, counting down the good times, staring down the clock, throw some hallelujahs to the big man in the sky, show up Sunday morning looking just like last night. Yeah, that's how I get by.
ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay rolling on from the Rock Sports Bar in Sun Prairie. We've got fans hanging out. We've got all sorts of people just watching the games. There's some very lopsided games, and there's some pretty good games on across. They're also replaying the Bucks win over the Pacers last night. The Bucks might be back. Don't quote me. I'm cautiously optimistic there. Maybe more cautiously optimistic than I am about
Theme
this
of the
Badgers.
day.
Yeah, a little happier about that than I am about where the Badgers are at. But after today, that could be changed. Canopy Wealth Management carries a long-standing tradition of working in the best interest of their clients every single day. The team at Canopy emphasizes building a local relationship and believes that values matter and strengthening their community matters. At Canopy, care, competence, and clarity isn't just a tagline, it's a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started today. And today we've got Adam Mertz, Brad Nortman, myself, Alex G, getting you ready for Wisconsin at Nebraska. Nebraska 1-point favorites, but it's time for good call, bad call.
All right, gentlemen, we're going to start off. We've already talked about him a little bit, but the 4-star quarterback, Carter Smith, down in Florida. He's a composite 4-star, and last night in his high school football game, he came out with a towel back like behind his pants, and it had the motion W on it. Plus, in between the third and fourth quarter, a certain song started to play.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So, good call, bad call. Gentlemen, we got him.
I'm going to kick us off because I've been reading into this all day. Yes, I genuinely believe it. He was a big favorite to go to Florida State. It seemed like it was a done deal, and they turned around and they signed somebody from Oklahoma, a 4-star commit slightly above him. He committed to Florida. Carter said no to going to Michigan. I think we're going to land a 4-star commit. He's the highest rated guy since Mertz, I believe. And while that, at first I'm like, oh, that's so cool. And then I remember, like, Mertz didn't quite work out for us. But I think we got our guy, and we're going to continue to build out that quarterback room to be as competitive as possible.
Yeah, I think we got him, so that is a good call. I mean, you just don't do that unless you're going to go to Wisconsin.
Right.
So, and how highly ranked he is encouraging. He's got so many big-time offers, so clearly other programs believe in him. So I have a level of optimism. However, man, we've heard, or at least I've heard, that Matoyer has been struggling.
Yeah.
We know what happened with Mertz. We had plenty of other transfer quarterbacks come in that were highly high-star quarterbacks. I can't believe fully in these quarterbacks until I can prove that we develop quarterbacks, right? I mean, the Badgers need to find a guy that can develop these quarterbacks. There's no doubt they're good coming in, but to make that jump from high school to college and be good in college is just a completely different animal. So Fickell's job now, he did it with Desmond Ridder, right? Desmond Ridder played well in Cincinnati. Got to find a guy that can develop these young, talented quarterbacks in a way that Mertz has never developed. Hopefully Matoyer is. And for Carter Smith, he's got to get developed. Again, is on the offensive coordinator that Fickell eventually hires.
Mertz, do you feel like you were ever fully developed?
I'm still
We were
developing
talking about
personally.
beards earlier.
Right, yeah, I'm still developing. This is really good news because that quarterback room has just been decimated. It's wild to me that a kid who's got that many offers, got that much attention, would go to a place where there's uncertainty at offensive coordinator, not knowing what system you're coming into. So Luke Fickell must have made it very clear about here's how we're going to operate. Here's my commitment to you coming in that you're going to be the guy, and whoever I hire is going to be looking at you as such. So I was thinking back about this. You got Braden Locke in. You got his little brother who's committed but blew out his ACL, and that was sort of a Longo connection. Where does that hold? That's kind of tenuous. Nick Evers that just sort of never materialized in this program, that he went elsewhere. Miles Burkett went elsewhere. Both those guys getting some snaps and doing okay. But there's no depth in that room. Depth. We talked before. You mentioned before about Hunter Wohler's the most important guy on the field that you want to replace. I don't dispute that, but there's part of me that's like Braden Locke's almost that guy.
Wild,
and like not from what he's performing as, but what do you have behind him, and who can you throw in there? What we're hearing out of maybe Matoyer is they can't, and it was a open and shut answer by Luke Fickell this week about who is going to be the quarterback.
Yeah.
It was open and shut, so you know that he's not ready. And what does he emerge as? There's more than you need more than one guy. I'm glad they got one guy who's coming in. I feel good about that, but you need more than one.
Man, and so I do want to just put out there, Carter Smith was at the Oregon game that we were both at, right? Yes. I was there celebrating my birthday. I got there a little late. I thought it was going to be an absolute blowout. I didn't know if I was going to be able to get a ticket. I got a ticket from work right before the game. and I didn't get there until the third quarter. I showed up, and immediately we lost the lead. It was so
it's your fault.
It is my fault. I should have left. I should have walked right back home.
You blew it!
I'm sorry, but Carter Smith was also there. And if I'm Carter Smith on that sideline, I'm watching the Badgers absolutely hang, and deservedly so, against the number one team in the country. And I see all they need is a quarterback, because honestly, Braden Locke looked like a chimpanzee back there for a little bit. He had no idea what was going on. He was flailing around. He was flustered.
What do you have against chimpanzees?
They shouldn't be a Division I quarterback. That's what I have against them. So, yeah, I think if I'm him, I'm watching that being like, oh, I can go be the savior of this program.
Yeah, it's interesting if you're a young quarterback. You could look at it and say, this program's got everything but a quarterback. Enter me. We can do some things. If you have self-confidence, which these guys do, you no doubt think you can walk in there and be like, you put me in that situation, I get this victory.
All right, what do you got, Hunter?
Currently, Ohio State is up on Indiana 31-7. Given the performance the Badgers had last week against the number one team in the country, good call, bad call. The Badgers would be in a closer game with Ohio State today than Indiana is.
I'll start us off again.
In Columbus?
Yeah, why not?
I stand by it. I think, yes, absolutely, the Badgers would be closer now. I don't think they have a snowball's chance in hell of winning, and I don't think that they would beat Indiana right now. The way that the Badgers have been playing this season, they stick close early on. They have good top-end talent. They don't have the depth. They don't have the athletes to finish a game, and so I think it would be a closer game. I do. I don't think, again, not a win, closer game.
So 31-7 right now, middle of the third quarter. I don't think it'd be 31-7 against the Badgers. I just don't. I think it'd be closer than that. I don't think they win. It seems like Indiana's unraveling. I got to give Wisconsin some credit for playing top teams close. Even last year, Ohio State, when they came to Camp Randall, close game. All the games this year, it was close at Bama, and then they just opened it up right before halftime, scored again, and it was never close again. So I think they play them close. As opposed to being down 24, I could see them being down 14 and losing by 17. I could totally see that. So, yeah, good call.
I'll go with this. I could see the game going about the same way.
Yeah.
But I think that I'm with you on the Badgers wouldn't have self-destructed in terms of the punt return, the punt drop, which still sticks in my mind from a few years ago.
Nightmares.
We saw those. Yeah. But the one thing I'll say, too, is that Indiana's had a great year, and it's amazing what Cignetti's done.
Wow.
If you put the Badgers into Indiana's schedule, they'd be 8-2 coming into today. If you put the Hoosiers into the Badgers schedule, they'd be 8-2 coming into today.
You think?
Yeah, I'm not saying they're the same. Indiana's a better team. I'm saying if you flip the schedules.
You think if you flip the schedules, they would be 8-2 given our schedule?
And not 5-5 like the Badgers?
Correct.
Wow.
I think they
so
probably would be.
You think they're an objectively better team than Wisconsin?
I think they're an objectively better team than Wisconsin at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. They've shown more to do that. Yeah,
they have a better offense. They're able to put points on the board.
I just watched their offensive line completely handle on third down the pass rush of Ohio State, and I struggle to see where you're lying.
And they got a good quarterback.
Do you have one more real quick one for us, Hunter?
Yeah, since I basically got back-to-back good calls for the first time in maybe forever. Good call, bad call. This was my best good call, bad call.
Good call.
Oh, good call.
3 for 3. Good
call. So proud of you.
Let's go.
All right, Carbon World Health is your complete solution for fitness, health, and beauty. Their cutting-edge science and impeccable services, unlike anything you've ever experienced, redefine limitation with their state-of-the-art fitness facility and med spa. Visit carbonworldhealth.com for more information. And tons of guys across ESPN Wisconsin love it. You got to go check it out. It's worth the time to at least explore what they can do. This is ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay, brewed by Coors Light.
The countdown to kickoff continues next. You're listening to ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay.
RE/MAX Preferred has been a James Imaging Systems client for over 20 years. RE/MAX Preferred CEO Daniel Bertelsen.
James Imaging is one of the vendors that we use to move all of our documents and set up networks and utilize their equipment for scanning and storage purposes.
James Imaging Systems, for over 40 years, a local 100% Wisconsin-owned and managed business technology company.
James Imaging has gone through a lot of evolutions over the years, and the one thing that has remained constant is their customer service and their follow-up.
That's important.
Extremely important. When we don't know what's going on, we can't let other people know what's going on in the company, and we get angry people.
And
James Imaging helps us keep people happy.
are your people less than happy with your current business technology vendor? Then switch to James Imaging Systems. Call 608-221-3457. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
Black Friday is Cash Friday at Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. On Friday, November 29th, starting at 5 p.m., 18 winners will each take home a cash prize between $500 and $2,500 in our Cash Friday promotion. And at 8 p.m., one winner will take home the $40,000 grand prize. Plus, November 29th is Ho Chunk Day, and we're celebrating by giving the first 500 guests visiting our Rewards Club booth $25 in rewards play. Cash Friday is a holiday tradition at Ho Chunk Gaming Madison.
Want to join the fastest growing home solar company in the nation and work in the fastest growing industry in the world? Everlight Solar has open positions in the Madison area and in their newly open Milwaukee location. As Wisconsin's largest home solar company, Everlight Solar offers great opportunities to gain new skills and advance your career. Don't miss the chance to join the Everlight Solar team. Visit everlightsolar.com to apply today. Save money, save the planet, and start with Everlight Solar.
Hi, Dave from Canopy Wealth Management here. Our balanced approach helps guide you through a complex and ever-changing landscape. Throughout your family's financial planning journey, we will serve as a partner, advocate, and steward in all aspects to help you achieve your goals with confidence. At Canopy, care, competence, and clarity, it's not just a tagline, it's a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started today. That's canopy-wealth.com.
It takes a team to meet just about any goal, and that's as true on the football field as it is in the office. So it's good to know that you have the Gordon Flesch Company on your side. For more than 60 years, GFC has provided cutting-edge office technology for companies of all sizes, and as the nation's largest Canon dealer, GFC delivers the latest office technology, serviced, and is supported by the most experienced professionals in the industry. That's business technology managed. Visit gflesh.com to learn more.
Get your hydration on track with Water Joe. Water Joe has 0 calories, 0 sugars, 0 artificial sweeteners, and 0 carbs. Get a 700 milliliter bottle of Water Joe at your local Festival Foods for 99 cents now until December 8th. Just purified water infused with a kick of caffeine. It's a great alternative to sugary sodas, sugary coffee, or energy drinks. Get that 700 milliliter bottle of Water Joe for only 99 cents through December 8th at your local Festival Foods location.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
They treated me like family.
They're actually people that you can depend on. They made me feel seen. They really treated me like I was a part of their family, a part of their team.
They ask how you're doing, how you're feeling.
They're just so welcoming and so sweet and kind.
It's like family, caring about another member of the family.
If you've been injured, it costs you nothing to see if Gruber Law Offices can help.
This is Monte Ball.
Monte steps to the right, dashes, reaches, touchdown.
You listen to 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison.
From L.A. to Piscataway, this is your college football scoreboard update, driven by Metro Ford of Madison.
What is up, Wisconsin? I'm Hunter Vaughn. As we take a look around the Big Ten, we had one game that went final last night. Michigan State winning 24-17 over the Purdue Boilermakers. Purdue now 1-10 on the season, 0-8 in Big Ten play. Michigan State, they're 5-6, one more win, and they'll be bowl eligible. Some other games that are currently going on around the Big Ten. Indiana is into the red zone with a 2nd down and 9 against Ohio State. But the Hoosiers trail 31-7. Now they're down inside the 5 are the Hoosiers, inside 2 minutes to go in that one. Then another top 25 team in the Big Ten. They're in a tight one, though, on the road at Rutgers. Brett Bielema's Illinois Fighting Illini trailing 24-22, and Rutgers has the ball with 11:49 to go in that one. And then in the closing seconds, the Iowa Hawkeyes are up at Maryland 29-13. Iowa will improve to 7-4 on the season, and then 4 more games to kick off with Penn State at Minnesota, Northwestern at Michigan, USC at UCLA, and of course, Wisconsin at Nebraska.
Metro Ford of Madison, Madison's trusted Ford dealership. Learn more at metrofordofmadison.com.
You're along with the ride with ESPN Wisconsin as we bring you closer and closer to the Wisconsin Badgers kickoff as they take on the Nebraska Cornhuskers in Nebraska. Our friends at Liberty Station are running a game day shuttle program during home games in Madison this football season. For just $15, get a Coors Light and a round trip to Camp Randall. It all starts at Liberty Station American Tavern and Smokehouse, located off the Beltline and Rimrock Road. And it certainly didn't start here, but here's where we are. It is time for Pepsi Picks.
All right, gentlemen, some games that are going on later today in the college football world. We start off with an old school rivalry being played at Yankee Stadium. Number 19 Army taking on number 6 Notre Dame. The Notre Dame Fighting Irish are 13.5-point favorites in this one. We're going to start with you, Mertzy, since you're nodding your head. You're excited about this one. Does Notre Dame cover?
So I was I'm getting pretty old now, and I felt like when I was a kid, the glory days of Army were ancient. So that just tells you where things are at. They haven't beaten the Irish since 1958, which is kind of unbelievable to me. Thinking about
wait, say that again?
They haven't beaten the Irish since 1958.
Wow. 66 years.
I was proud about our 10-game win streak over Nebraska.
I know. But, yeah, I mean, like, Army's riding high. I would love to see, monumental upset in Yankee Stadium. I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. I think that Notre Dame runs away with this one. I'd love to think that Army can at least give them a game. They've got 2 turnovers this season, Army does. If they can play smart football, control the ball, they can at least keep things tight. I think Notre Dame runs away.
My concern is that Notre Dame beat Navy by 36 points, 37 points, 51-14, and they run similar things, Army and Navy. So Notre Dame has shown the ability to be able to contain what Army does by beating Navy. So I'm going to go with Notre Dame with the victory, but because I love America, I'm going to say that Army covers.
I guess I've been outed.
Yeah, seriously.
I'm going to go Notre Dame to cover, but I really don't care. I think the same line can be set. 13.5 passes total in this game. What do you think, Mertzy?
Ooh. Total passes.
Total passes.
I mean,
Both teams.
Wow.
I'll take the over on that, but I love that stat. That would be a great one.
That's a great prop.
Hey, one more weird thing to point out about this. I was thinking about this today. So, Glenn Davis, who was I can't remember if he was Mr. Inside or Mr. Outside, 1945 Heisman Trophy winner. Alan Amici, 1952 Heisman Trophy winner for Wisconsin. They were married to the same woman. Not at the same time.
Come on.
Yeah, Alan. I did a story on Amici, a flashback.
You said same time.
Not at the same
time.
That would have been really juicy. That would be really
lives
juicy.
of former
Drama, baby.
Glenn Davis passed away, and that she met Alan at like a Heisman thing or whatever else. But I was like, man, how strange of an existence would that be to have been married to 2 Heisman trophies?
She's got a type.
She has to be the only one in human history to be
Seriously,
married to 2 Heisman.
I know. She's a fantastic lady. I love talking with her.
Wow.
All right, what's next?
Davis.
Well, just to add a little bit here, Glenn Davis was Mr. Outside. Doc Blanchard was the inside for Mr. Inside, Mr. Outside. And for those wondering why this game still gets played, even though, as Mertzy mentioned, Notre Dame has dominated the series, this is a gentleman's agreement that basically the community of South Bend and the University of Notre Dame have come to with the academies, because during World War II, the U.S. military basically helped save South Bend as a community by sending workers and work to the community, to their factories. Wow. So this is their way of propping them up now by giving them national games and playing against them. So really cool thing for that game. That's why I wanted this one.
Stat, Hunter.
Awesome.
Did not know that.
awesome story worth celebrating. With Celebrations Entertainment, planning events has never been easier. They have complete event services for weddings, corporate events, nonprofit events, outdoor movie nights, casino nights, and so much more. Visit celebrationsentertainment.com to get started today. Celebrations Entertainment, fun, memorable events. Put your phones down. We're not done. This was a middle of the segment live read.
Whoa.
You two.
Yeah.
What's next, Hunter?
We're going to go really quickly through these next two. So no deep dives or anything like that, Mertzy. USC, UCLA. The Trojans are 4.5-point favorites.
So Jaden Maeva gave USC a spark last week. First he gave up 6 points in Nebraska on an interception return.
Okay.
But he really did a lot with his feet in that game, and I think that'll be crucial for them today because UCLA has been tough against the run. I do like the Trojans in this one.
I like the Bruins. They've been playing good football. I can't believe they went the next week and beat the Iowa team that smacked Wisconsin. They've been really finding themselves lately, and USC had big hopes. Those have been dashed. It's hard to get yourself up to play games when you thought you were going to be in the college football playoff and you're far from it. So give me the Bruins.
ESPN LA is the home of Trojans football. I wore my ESPN LA gear to work today. Not this, obviously.
Wow,
the other
company
one.
man.
So I'm going to go company man. Let's go Trojans.
Love it. And finally, a huge battle for Badgers volleyball tonight. First serve at 7-10. Wisconsin, the 6th-ranked team in the country, heads to Lincoln to take on number 2 Nebraska. How many sets do the Badgers win this huge match?
2 sets gets the victory, right?
3.
3. They play.
Come
they play
on,
us 5.
come on.
Okay. Anyway, I was testing you guys.
Yeah,
I was testing
exactly,
you guys
exactly.
to make sure that you guys. I wouldn't. You guys. As you pick this game, they win 3, baby. They could give me 3. They give me the 3 out of 5. It's going to take all 5, but they're going to win 3, and it's going to be a double defeat in Lincoln for the Wisconsin Badgers today, baby.
I wonder how many fans are doing that double. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that would be.
I saw that the Badgers took care of Minnesota in 5 earlier this week, so revenge week continues.
Yes,
those early season defeats, 3-2, Wisconsin.
The revenge is not going to be nearly as sweet as it will be in the playoffs, in the tournament. I'm going to say they win 2 today and lose in heartbreaking fashion, but learn a lot as they fall to the Nebraska Cornhuskers because they're just so damn good.
Mm-hmm.
They are so damn good.
John Cook.
That was Pepsi Picks. Enjoy Pepsi, a proud partner of the Wisconsin Badgers. You can be just like Wisconsin football star Hunter Wohler and get game day ready with Pepsi, and maybe not this week, but usually that's how he does it. Try Pepsi Zero Sugar, the perfect drink for your tailgate party, and a great way to make a tasty mixed drink. This is ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay presented by Coors Light. We wrap it up next.
The countdown to kickoff continues next. You're listening to ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay.
Looking to get away this winter? Well, now's your chance. Hey, it's Molly Brown from Jim, Matt, and Molly. Our friends at Coors Light are giving away a Florida experience this December, and you could win. This trip for 2 includes a travel and hotel voucher, club-level tickets to the Boca Bowl on Wednesday, December 18th, and exclusive access to events surrounding the Boca Bowl. All you have to do is order an ice-cold Coors Light and scan the QR code at any of the following locations: Pooley's, Tanner's, Draft House, and Paoli Pub. Coors Light. Enjoy responsibly.
Why is life better with American Family Insurance? Because every policy comes with something very special. A trusted agent who's there to help protect your dreams by finding the right coverage at the right price. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Your warehouse concrete floors see a lot of traffic. Uneven, sinking, or cracked concrete can pose a serious threat to any business operation. From trip hazards to cracked foundations, sinking concrete can keep any business owner up at night. Concrete Lifting Technologies is here to help. Concrete Lifting Technologies can even out that concrete floor to prevent these hazards. They can level your warehouse floor within a few hours and don't even need to shut down your operations. Visit itaintmudjack.com to get a free quote today. That's itaintmudjack.com. There's a good chance if you watch sports, you're getting served information about hormone optimization. What does that even mean? Dr. Ness Rodriguez at Carbon World Health can tell you exactly what hormone optimization means. He will take your blood work and let you know if it's right for you. If you're feeling sluggish, not losing weight like you used to, you're not gaining muscle like you used to, or you just don't feel like yourself in most aspects of your life, go see Dr. Ness Rodriguez at Carbon World Health. In fact, sign up for the 6-week experience so you can see everything that Carbon World Health has to offer, including hormone optimization. Learn more at carbonworldhealth.com.
The Jones family has its rules, just like any other family. Only difference is, ours are about making the best tasting, highest quality breakfast sausage you can buy. One of our rules, we only use all natural ingredients. It's a mandate we've followed since the 1840s, and we'll continue to do so for generations to come. Right here in Fort Atkinson. I'm Philip Jones. To learn more about the rules that make sure my family provides your family with the best tasting, highest quality breakfast sausage, visit jonesdairyfarm.com.
That to-do list you have needs one more thing. Chill. It's an easy thing to do. Just crack open an ice-cold Coors Light and chill. Take the afternoon off and binge watch anything. Go to happy hour and stay for a couple hours. Who's counting anyways? Or hang out with just your dog, because you've had enough human interaction this week. Whatever you do it with a Coors Light. Mountain cold refreshment made to chill. 2020 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Liberty Station American Tavern and Smokehouse isn't just a barbecue restaurant. Fish fry, walleye, and vegetarian options are available, and they have a menu that's sure to please everyone. Liberty Station smokes their meats daily with a 1,000-gallon custom smoker, giving you the freshest experience possible. Enjoy happy hour with daily discounts on both food and drinks at their large bar with 20 draft taps and multiple TVs to watch the big game. Be sure to check out their sprawling patio with an indoor and outdoor porch area too. Liberty Station off the Beltline on Rimrock Road.
Nothing makes being outdoors better than having the right gear and the right crew. So here's an idea. Let Mountain Dew supply the gear and you bring the friends. Because when you buy specially marked multi-packs of Mountain Dew, you can collect points and earn epic limited edition outdoor gear. We're talking everything from custom Mountain Dew camp chairs and backpack coolers to exclusive Mountain Dew tents, fishing boats, and more. So buy Dew, collect points, get gear, and get outside with Mountain Dew outdoor gear.
Open to legal U.S. residents 18+. Subject to program terms at dewoutdoors.com. Ends 12/31/24. Void or prohibited.
Barry Alvarez joins the ESPN Wisconsin team.
I won't use a search committee. Most search committees use me.
Nobody covers the Badgers like 100.5 ESPN. Now featuring Wisconsin legend Barry Alvarez.
Kickoff is in just 8 minutes at Starion Bank. Experience a banking relationship where your goals are their priority. As a community bank with commitment to Dane County, Starion Bank redefines local banking in the Madison area. Visit one of their 3 convenient branches in Middleton, Sun Prairie, or Monona and learn more online at starionbank.com. This is ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay. I'm Alex Gravatt alongside Brad Nortman, Adam Mertz, and we are getting you ready. I'm going to give you the quick rundown here. Badgers are 1-point underdogs at Nebraska. Both teams are 5-5, fighting for bowl game eligibility. Nebraska is 0-9 in games to make a bowl game in the last 9 games. Badgers tight end coach Nate Letton is calling the plays during pregame warmups. It's been rumored that he will be the play caller after the Badgers fired their offensive coordinator, and there's no Hunter Wohler or Will Pauling. Man. What do we think?
That's a good reset, Chief.
Yeah. Just hitting everything for you, getting you ready for the game. Brad, we only have 3 minutes. What are your thoughts on this game?
Well, I think it's going to be ugly, guys. I do. I would love to see Wisconsin win convincingly, but Nebraska's a hard team to beat convincingly because they're stout up front and they're pretty well coached. So I think Wisconsin's going to get the win today. Man, the over-under is 41.5, so that's saying a low-scoring game. So I'm actually going to go with the under. I think Wisconsin wins 17-13. I think it's going to be that kind of game. And, it's going to give me some optimism going into Minnesota. And we just got to get a win, boys. We just got to get a win, get back to winning ways, and end the season.
No 4-game losing streak for you, Brad. All right, Mertzy?
Both teams have a lot to prove today.
A lot.
Beyond the bowl eligibility, they've had tough times offensively. Dana Holgerson for Nebraska coming in, trying to see if he can spark something here in his second full week as OC. Nebraska has been under 325 total yards for 5 straight weeks.
Oof.
And so I'm seeing number 6 in that measure. I think the defense is going to play well today. I'm gonna say that Nathaniel Vakos we'll go a little Greek magic when we had the Brazilian magic from Rafael Gaglianone a few years ago. 23-20. Bucky.
Specialist love. I love it, Mertzy.
Jones Dairy Farm prides themselves on making the best tasting, high-quality breakfast sausage you could buy. They only use all-natural ingredients right here in Fort Atkinson. To learn more about Jones Dairy Farm's promise, visit jonesdairyfarm.com. Jones Dairy Farm, the official breakfast sausage of ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay. And the official pick of this ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay host is Wisconsin, 23-21. I think we're going to see a big game from Trech Kekahuna, and I think Cade Yakimelli, my guy, the guy I've been talking about this whole time, is going to get a couple more shots at it. Not a feature piece, but I think he'll get some gameplay today. You've been listening to ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay presented by Coors Light. Reminder, the post-game show starts immediately after the final whistle blows. This has been ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay presented by Coors Light.
Kyle Walls here from ESPN Wisconsin's Kyle Brad Nortman, and you know I'm watching